Right now I'm running a workshop for the first time, one I've never run before. In my head, but I'm still running it. It's the night before I do it for real tomorrow. And I call it a flyby. What I do is I've done my prep, and I sit here with the workbook, I get calm, I shut my eyes, and I imagine I'm running it tomorrow at 10, 15 times the normal pace, section by section, beat by beat, page by page. And when I'm finished, I open up my eyes, I check the contents, and if I'm spot on, well, I know I'm ready. So how do I get to this point? Well, that's what I'm going to talk about. My process for thoroughly and professionally preparing to run a workshop. I am not one of these people that just thinks press save on the PowerPoint and run through the notes for 15 minutes the night before. If I did that, I think I'd be terrible. I am flat out at the moment. God, we all are. And I think that's one of the reasons why at times we don't prepare thoroughly enough for, well, not just workshops, for anything. And it's also one of the reasons why I've developed a preparation strategy that avoids long runs, just staring at the materials for hours, hoping the words get in because I've done this so many times. I never prepare for more than 10 or 15 minutes at any one time. So I do it in small, quick chunks. That way it fits better into my life. But it also means I have to start maybe 10, 12 days before the workshop itself. So what do I do with all those short bursts of prep time over that fortnight or so? I see it as a 4-level process. The first level is simply getting a gist of what the program's about. I find the contents page really helpful, as are the headings and subheadings. You just flip through, and in about a day, you'll have a really strong sense of the designer's learning journey. From there, level 2 is getting a sense of the major content and concepts. So I really don't read each sentence or paragraph. What I'm looking for is, well, what's the workshop selling here? What's its take on whatever the subject is? What are the major concepts? It's really important to do that because you may need to do a bit of research on some of the stuff that you're not so familiar with. Now, you may be 3 days into your prep by now, and we get to level 3. Level 3 is where you start to do the detailed reading, taking things in. I never do more than one section of a workshop at a time. As I say, never more than 10 or 15 minutes. It may take a couple of days, but you'll soon have a really high retention of what it is that you'll be training. And that leads to level 4, which I never really start more than a couple of days out. And that's when, once you've taken in all of the designer's work with the facilitator guide and the workbook, you then start to add your own flavour. You start to think about what bits of your life experience, which anecdotes, how you're going to introduce things. So, just to summarise my process, I never prepare for more than 10 or 15 minutes at any one time, so I can fit preparation into my busy life. I have a 4-level process. It starts with level 1, where I get the gist of the basic learning story. Level 2, where I start to understand the designer's take on the subject, the course concepts and basic content. Level 3, I start to study the designer's design in more detail. And finally, level 4, I think about my way to add flavour and value to the workshop I'll soon be running. And on the morning of the workshop itself, make sure you've got another 10 or 15 minutes up your sleeve. At the end of the day, I do all that I can to prepare thoroughly. I never believe I'm experienced or good looking enough to fly by the seat of my pants. My clients and the learners they give me to train deserve my very best. And that doesn't just mean being good in the workshop itself. It's all about preparation. Cheers.